Hi, everybody. It's me again, Albatross. You missed me? I know, I wasn't gone very long. Okay, let's finish this video. First, from September 20th, 2020. And trigger warning, this might contain some things that are disturbing. Actually, it most likely will.
He's a therapy dog. Your psychic shops are usually in prime real estate property in your town. They're in every town. They're basically a broker. They broker trafficking. They broker drugs. They are the middleman, so to speak. Pay attention to your psychic shops. You never see people coming in. You never see people leaving. How do they stay in business?
That is a good point.
I want to ask that.
And about all the discounts and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now
that's all coded.
Riverside, California, off of Arlington.
Arlington and Magnolia, right
I
there
have
on the corner.
been to this shop. Calling it out right now. There's a lot of things that you guys will find out that is
someone else she's calling out, guys. Listen to her.
They're not real. And the thing is, when you find out what's going on in these places, you will never be the same. I am terribly afraid of the dentist. We don't have to say
anything. Wait. She just said she's afraid of the dentist, right? Didn't they just find a dentist chair? Or was that a rumor? That could have been a rumor. My bad.
Classified information is going to be my IPTV a little bit, but you know what? We ain't got to talk about it. But I am deathly afraid of the dentist.
Most survivors are.
And most survivors are. Reason why? You will see that if you go back into the Epstein files, even then, there's a dentist chair and everything that you find. Those are torture chairs.
Maybe it wasn't a rumor.
Dentists, they hire dentists to come put trappers
allegedly.
And all kind of crap in your teeth and torture you.
Wait. Another thing. Kanye West, wait. Didn't I just hear something about, him having, a personal dentist? Y'all, she said this in 2020, and we just found out about Kanye's dentist not long ago. Okay, keep talking. You all want to say she doesn't call nobody out. I didn't even watch this video. I didn't even hear about any of this. People are dumb. They don't like to listen to people. They watch one clip, 5 minutes of her, and they're like, well, she didn't say any names. I'm sick of people not saying names. If you're going to call someone out, call someone out. Well, she's called people out, you idiots. Okay, I'm sorry, Allie. Interrupt. I keep interrupting. I won't. Continue.
Yeah,
me and Dennis, we don't get along. No. Dentist is not your pal. I do not sing that song. Never did in kindergarten either. And because I go way back, there's so damn much. There is no video. You guys would have to come to a whole, we would have to make a whole night for everybody to come out live for a whole 3-4 hour session for me to barely actually get to the real trafficking. The word trafficking, what people hear, even what the people hear at the rallies and at marches, I don't think people are mad enough because they don't know what it is.
I can usually tell where somebody stands and where their comprehension is by the questions they ask me, by the way they respond. And most people don't know the depth. I can gauge where you're thinking and where your depth of understanding is by your response to it and by your questions that you ask. And most people aren't grasping the pure evil of it.
Yeah, if people knew that there was someone who, as we speak right now, has metal clinks outside to tie children to on a daily to torture them with an electric prod or a magnifying glass in the sun, like freaking Toy Story, you wouldn't be okay with that. If you knew they were stone cold naked and you knew that they drugged them, and not only drugged them, but they drugged them enough to have a reaction out of them when they knew they were in pain, you would not just be going to the march to walk. You would be pissed. You'd be sick. There's things that people don't realize. There's things that I have a nightmare that I don't realize. People ask me all the time, especially on Instagram, why are you always so happy when you dance? It's because it's my therapy and it's my only release. And I'm alive, and I'm blessed to do that. Dance has always been used backwards for me. Life has always been backwards for me. I was told that, yes, you watch cartoons, but I grew up with Jimmy Neutron, the Powderpuff Girls, Pirates of the Caribbean, Snow White, and all of them with porno. watched the cartoon, but backwards. So when my mom finally took me to Disney, I was freaking the hell out, for number one. And for number two, everybody was asking me, like, have you seen the actual movie? And I'm like, which movie? Like, you know what I mean? So, it's just...
But, okay, so, when I say, like, don't grasp things, in a million years, it would have never occurred to me that somebody took cartoons and used them for pornography to train children. Like, my mind does not work like that. Normal human beings' mind doesn't work like that. You literally have to train yourself.
Let me ask you something. How many times has Disney put genitalia in their movies, or on their art, or on their movie covers, in their stuffed animals? Like, seriously, how many times have they done this before people start thinking it's more than just a coincidence? That's what I want to know. I've been hearing this stuff my whole life. My whole life. I mean, and we all have. It's like, at one point, are we going to stop calling it conspiracy theory? It's a downright conspiracy now. It's a real conspiracy. Anyway.
To, like, think in a whole other way,
Yeah.
just to understand what's happening.
When I say regular kids and underprivileged kids, like, I think people don't understand. Like, regular kids, yeah, you can have a conversation. You can go purchase slime. Some kids think that slime is so funny. It's cool. You wouldn't be able to have that same conversation with a trafficking survivor who thinks slime is body fluid. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so much. So much.
Thankfully for me, God, I was raised like normal, middle class, American, go to church, worship God, human being. Like most of the people that are on my Facebook page and most of the people that I'm around are. But then I also had to see this other side, and being able to see both, I think God is using as a way for me to, like, say, look, things are not the way we were raised to believe. Things are not what we see. Here's why. Because in a million years, I could have never thought of this stuff. When I say the world isn't how we think it is, it wasn't how we were raised to believe, it's truly not. Like, these people are evil. They think in a whole completely separate way.
There's flavors of it, and I tell people all the time, because there are other survivors, and some survivors can say, I have not been through that much. And when you say that much, there are people who, yeah, like, you get caught up in it with your family, or you got caught up in it with a person online, or, you know what I mean, something like that. Then there's being taken into underground bunkers. Then there's having jobs of someone beating you or torturing you or shocking you or tying you up and putting you in a pool, like in a hog tie, and raping you and making sure that you can wake back up from it. There's being put in a casket with bugs and spiders and worms and all kind of things, and being buried alive in a plastic bag and then taken back out and told that you were saved. There's so many different things of trafficking that I don't think people understand.
The SRA, the satanic ritual abuse, the witchcraft, the occultism, the dark religion, that overlaps with trafficking. If you think about it like this, what kind of a mind, what kind of a person can sell a child?
Mm-hmm.
None of us can. No average American that was raised middle class in that normal American patriotic mindset.
What kind of person would be able to stand still? Are you the kind of person that's able to stand still and watch somebody beat the hell out of somebody that's defenseless?
And most of us say no.
Yeah.
So how did all these people come about? Where did they come from? Like, how are they able to do this?
And you just have to understand that they cross a point. They get to a point of just having sex. Just sex. Or getting in a fight with somebody and just having this anger issue and beating the hell out of somebody, okay. But then there's literally torturing someone and drawing blood from someone, and
it's when they start dealing with the satanic ritual abuse and the witchcraft and the dark spirits and all that, is when they kind of cross that line. And then the more they do, the more that they have to do. So if I cut you and I see blood and that brought me enjoyment, then the next time I'm going to need to see a little bit more blood. When I say it's kind of like crack addicts or heroin addicts.
Yeah, it's an addiction. It's really an addiction. It's a sick addiction that you can't, there's like withdrawals. These people can't control themselves. If they don't get their fix, they will go crazy. And when they finally do get their fix, if they get a hold of somebody and it's been too long, I'm talking about people that will tie someone to a horse stable and hurt them until after they're dead and still hurt them because they get a fix out of it. There are people who get fix out of raping dead bodies. I don't want to scare y'all too much on Instagram because y'all probably look at me like, I thought we was going for a quick live. I didn't know this was going to get here. But please understand that if you donate to a trafficking survivor, you have no idea what they've been through and where they've been. They're probably not even from here. You've probably seen them on a milk carton, on a Walmart thing, on TV, years and years, maybe decades ago, and you think they're dead, and they're coming up. With the Epstein thing and how she was just explaining, we had talked about the ledgers before where they keep all that information and all this, and they don't let go of anything, and they hoard all this stuff. I don't know why that is either. I would love to ask a crazy, sick-minded fool real quick, why do you keep everything? But
when they start matching up this DNA from that they've had stored from old tampons, from old blood, from all these different things, you're gonna start matching up where all these missing kids went, what happened to John Bonet, where Natalie Holloway went. You're gonna start finding that because
I'm telling you, you'll see the weirdest crap when things come alive. You'll see that there's people who will rape you and chop off your hair and keep that thing of your hair. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why. Don't ask me why that part. I don't know. I really can't answer that question. It's just a thing. So when it all comes out, which it will, because look how many stories. Look how many people have gotten saved. Go back. Look at my post. Look at my mother's post. Look at other people's posts that are pulling them out of the ground. Look how many have been found in Georgia. There's people all over the world. Oregon. I have a new friend here that's from Melbourne and knows about the tunnels that are underground in Australia. Australia is a hub. It is a major hub. These fools fly kids out in 2 seconds real quick for a job. Sometimes they get left there. They're expendable. If there's a job that goes wrong and they don't want to go back for that product, they will leave that product there because it can die, it can expire. We don't care. We can find another one. That's how they treat you. This is 7, 6, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18, 21-year-old boys and girls. And you'd be surprised at what else can be trafficked. That's not even something we want to get in for this live. But right now, these survivors, they need to see that they exist and that people know that they exist and that not everybody's not brushing them under the rug. The reason why it pissed me off at that rally yesterday was everybody is commingling what's going on. They're losing the focus. There's no need to argue about who went where for the rally. There is no need to argue about what march, how many people was at this one, and what did they do, and what media was there. That doesn't matter. Get focused. Just focus on the real point. You are out there because, and what's weird is there's God in a lot of people. I know some people don't believe in it, but you could go ahead and just believe in your higher power, whatever you believe in Instagram, okay? But whatever you believe in, something is pointing you in the direction of those survivors, okay? And as those survivors pass you, when they see you, they automatically see that there's another way for me to get out. There's a chance. There's hope. There's someone that's listening. So don't focus on the wrong part of the story. Don't try to educate somebody on a political agenda. That's for them to figure out. If they're old enough to vote, they can figure it out for their damn selves who they need to vote for. Okay? That's not our job. Our job is to make sure while you're out there to save the kids. If you want to go for a political rant, go go to those rallies that need that political rant. Go do your thing, holler as loud as you please. But for the children, please stay focused, because you have no idea, and this is only the beginning for them. Just because they're free doesn't mean they're freedom. They don't have their freedom. So, yeah.
So, yeah, back, if you want to donate, if you want to make a blanket or donate a blanket for the backpacks that we'll be taking, we still have 100 to fill. If you want to give a stuffed animal,
some sweats,
extra large and medium.
Sadly, you'll see that a lot of victims are the same size. It's easier because you're easier to grab, you're easier to transport if you're out. So you can kind of gauge the size of what a survivor or a victim would be.
So we're asking for extra large because that'll cover extra large and large, and then we're asking for medium, and that'll cover the medium and small. They just might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it might be a little bit comfy fit, but they'll be comfy, and they'll be clean, and they'll be yours.
Coloring books, picture books, just some activities for them to do, comforting things, soft things, a blanket, a stuffed animal, just to give them a moment's peace.
Yeah. And if you want to put a note in it, like, you're worthy, I see you, we're thinking about you in Pittsburgh, we're thinking about you here in Colorado. You want to put something like that. The reason why I say I refrain from using religion is because you don't want anybody, especially going through that life right now, if God loved you or if whatever you believe in loved you, then why would you be going through this, is the question that's running through their head.
And the people that traffic, they deliberately distort and taint, and like she said, they will do things like drown you until you pass out.
I grew up in a church, so some of these are my stories.
They'll drown you till you pass out, and they'll revive you and say, look, God doesn't love you, you're too horrible, but we revive you and you belong to us and we're your family and yada, yada, yada.
Communion and all that stuff. When I first went to communion, I was like screaming on the inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video for the Christians, because there's a lot of stuff in the church that is not okay. But communion was another thing, like, kids that have been trafficked, like I said, it overlaps with satanic ritual abuse. Those traffickers are satanic ritual abusers, witchcraft, they're witches, they're black priests, they're sorceresses, they're into dark, evil stuff. But they drink blood. Mm-hmm. They eat flesh. Mm-hmm. So when you take a kid into church, like, we don't go to church now. Mm-hmm. Because I was taking this kid there, and we're doing communion, and it's like, what the hell? Like,
I'm freaking it out.
Drinking the blood, you know what I mean? There's just so much distortion. It was causing more damage. So there's just a lot of things, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. We got a lot of topics for a lot of days.
I'm telling you right now, you don't live in the world you think you do. People purchase on blood samples. Wayfair, prime example. They have like the advertisement, and then if you need a sample, you can pay for a sample of whatever fluid you want from that child. Blood. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just understand that I'm smiling with you in these videos because I want you to get ready, and you won't be as shocked as some people.
Yeah,
you'll still be shocked. You'll still be. I will be shocked.
The sad part is I'm probably gonna be.
I would be very shocked because I know that the world has gotten way worse, and I was out of life. It's been now 9 years that I've been out of life. So I know that it's gotten way worse. Way worse. And I'm blessed because if I didn't end up in somebody's tunnel, I didn't end up in someone's house. I was not a household.
You're not a house lady.
I'm being so serious. I'm smiling, but I'm being so serious. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you. I love you guys.
Thank you for sharing.
Followers, thank you, Facebook. I love y'all so much. Family over there. That's on the left, family on the right.
That's another thing I was just thinking about. The tunnels. That's something else that has come out just recently. And just keep in mind, I know I keep saying this, but it's important to remember. She is saying this stuff in 2020. When we weren't even thinking about none of this stuff. Most of us. I know I was, and I didn't even find out until like 6 months ago or something like that. So yeah, I mean, none of us were thinking about this in 2020. I mean, and I'm not saying that that girl Tanea is necessarily credible or whatever, but like what she said about the Harajuku dolls, though, it really resonated because it was like when you hear Ali talk. I know a lot of times when you first hear her talk about this stuff, it does sound unbelievable, but not really. Not when you think about the history of the world and the evil that's been done in this world throughout history. Like, you got to look at the whole picture here. Not the picture that everyone wants you to see, but like the whole picture. If you look at history, like, mankind has always been capable of like unspeakable evil. Always. And the way it works, the way evil works, it's like it never starts off big like that. Like, you don't go in a room and grab a child and defile them and stick objects in. No, no, that's not the way it works. Evil starts in small things, very small things. You're constantly pushing that line, crossing that boundary just a little bit every time. Just like she's saying here. You know what I mean? Just pushing that boundary just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then, like, there is no line anymore. And then it's like, if you're to the point where you're messing with children, you're capable of anything. I mean, I'm sorry, you're capable of anything. Okay, let's see, finish out this video.
Bandit too, Instagram bandit. But this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're doing. No matter what, I mean, you don't have to help. You can watch. But this is what we're doing to make a move for the trafficking survivors. I didn't realize we'd be getting an opportunity, blessed with an opportunity to be able to work with someone who's working with the task force. This is absolutely something bigger than I was ready for. This is something that was one of my goals, but it came really fast. So I'm blessed, and this is what I want to do. I also put out a story that I want to reach out to the foster agencies. I used to work for my mother's volunteer for my mother's foster agency that she worked for, and it was just a matter of ethnic hair. I don't cut hair, but you see my mama, my whole family's a rainbow, so I got sisters who cut hair. But for ethnic hair, I would go in and I would do those babies' hairs because you can't, I'm just gonna be real. There's white people, there's Mexican people, there's Indian people who do not know what black hair is. They have no idea. You have no idea that this ain't my hair. It's still my hair at the receipt, but you know what I mean?
That was one of the huge factors of supposedly why they couldn't place her with me was because I was white and I wouldn't be able to do her hair.
Oh my God, we went through a whole thing. It was a whole fun thing too. Like, there was court orders placed. It was ridiculous because she couldn't do my hair. Well, it's not rocket science, y'all. And
wait, hold up. They wouldn't place her in her care because they didn't think she'd be able to do that girl's hair. Like, really? Really, y'all? Oh my gosh. And that doesn't seem racist to anybody but me. That's horrible. What do they think that the women who have interracial children, like, how do they think they do their hair? Do they take them to CPS to do the hair for them? Since us normal people couldn't possibly take care of children that aren't the same color of us, right? We're gonna send them to the government, and we're gonna let them do the hair. You know what? Is that what they do when they have? I'm being serious. Like, that's like that's horrible. That's horrible. Which, if I'm going to be frank, I don't really think it has anything to do with the hair. I think they were probably using that as an excuse because Shelly actually cared about Allie. I think that's what their problem was. I don't think it had anything to do with the hair. I think that was just their excuse. That's just my opinion.
If you hear me now, you have done it this far. They're in your home, you're taking care of them, you have the heart for that. Everything else will fall into place, and there's always education, and there's YouTube for number one, right? If all else fails, there's YouTube. It tells you to do everything. But what I used to do is I would come in and wash hair, braid hair, whether it was their hair, natural or synthetic, get the kids ready. A lot of things. I think the longest I went without having my hair done was 8 months when I was in foster care. And I would do my hair myself. I had always braided my own hair, did my hair myself, but it came down to a fact where I didn't know where I was sleeping, so my hair was my last worry. It was, where's my pillow tonight?
Right.
So there are kids.
Right. Like, CPS worried about her hair, but they're not worried about who's, like, messing with her and, like, things like that. Like, she literally, like, showed receipts of, like, of men messing with her, like, in that documentary. There's receipts that she shows where CPS knows, and you saw the receipts. I don't know if you watched my video before, go check it out. But they literally, in a government document, they are saying that CPS knew about this isn't Allie, this is somebody else, that they knew about a 13-year-old, no, I'm sorry, woo, back up, I'm sorry, my bad. I don't remember the age of the child. But the CPS worker knew, hear me out now, the CPS worker knew that this child was having their hands zip-tied behind their back, they were being dunked in cold water, and all kinds, they were sent to school without pants, and the CPS worker knew this. They knew this. And they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. So, yeah. But they were worried about Allie's hair. But they weren't worried about the men. The pimps. Okay, sorry. I'm getting on the tangent here. Let me finish this video out.
At the time I was only 13, 14. There are babies who come into the system and they don't have their parents. No one knows how to do their hair, so their hair gets matted to their head until someone does something to it or until they chop it completely off.
Then you got bullying issues, you have
self-esteem issues, you have confidence issues because your foster sisters, they have their hair done, or you go to school and you see all these girls and the first thing, what does somebody say is, oh, my mama did my hair. You don't have a mom. So, or you don't have a foster mom. So it does a lot. It does a lot for me too because I love to talk to the babies. It has a lot of peace written in it. I mean, the kids are constantly pulled to the agency to talk about something in regards to the house or something in regards to their case. I would like to volunteer for an agency that they can get the kids to the agency and I will do their hair and wash their hair and braid their hair real quick for free. You do not have to worry about the money or the products. I will do it. I just want to continue the service that I used to do. There are foster agencies basically on every other block. You can look around and find probably about 3 different foster agencies and not even a 40-mile radius, to be honest with you. So there's so many, but there's some that, they have this service. There's some that just have kids that, they have people that they can go to or hairstylists that they can offer. But there's some agencies who just don't know. They just don't have it, and they don't know what to do for it, and that's their last worry, honestly. But for the kids, your head, especially for a young black girl, is your crown. And a lot of weight, a lot of religion, a lot of things go into, a lot of culture goes into your hair. So, when you look good, you feel good, and I would like to be able to just go in and do someone's hair real quick. I used to do it a lot, random styles, and just bless someone with that, whether it's here near us in California, out in Arizona, you name it, you tell me, just point me in the direction, I'll be there. But that's what I'm looking to do. Now, we have been in quarantine for 6 months, so imagine not having your hair done for 6 months. You got to think about the foster children in this. Some of you have not left your house in 6 months. What do you think is happening with foster kids who have CPS court-appointed visitations? That they cannot go on to visitation unless there is a social worker present. That means that social worker has to put their life on the front line of COVID and go out and do this child's visitation. If they can't do that visitation, that child doesn't get to go see their parents. All the court orders that were for 6 months, we're now in 6 months. Those court orders have now been pushed back to the next 6 months. So there's foster kids who are ready to get home and ready to go home, and now they can't go home because
Right.
of the courts. So there's so much that has went into COVID, good and bad, and I want to help with the foster kids that need that help. So if you know someone, or if you know of an agency who's looking for that, can you please let me know? I'd be happy. Yeah. We have some comments. We've hit y'all with a bunch of dark information today, huh? Y'all probably sick of our lives. Like, you know what? They got nothing fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.